Good evening, friends. It's a pleasure to see you all here. And again, talk about ETF, which turned out to be, which is we did move on to seeing how we can make ETF as a big product here, looking at the global trends. But I think for developing markets, it's a little early. But the regulatory changes which have happened, and now the institutional money once it starts flowing, I'm sure even the retail will follow and advisors will follow, because clearly what is a robust product for strategic allocation of portfolio. I would think that if you have 100 rupees in equities, 50 rupees should be in ETF, well managed ETF, and 50 rupees in the brilliant active managers you have in India. One of the reason India probably has not embraced ETF big time, at least by retail and other market participant, is our active managers have done brilliantly so far. I mean, I think about 60-65% of managers have beaten the index in here. Unlike in US, where almost 75, 80, 85% managers have not beaten. And that to consistent beating is even lower, maybe 5-6%. So I think we are also headed towards that with 2.5% expense ratio. I think a lot of guys will find it difficult to consistently beat the benchmark. And benchmark is brilliant. I can tell you 60-65% of the asset underlying in benchmark is very high quality assets. So the study which we have done, in that it is very clear that index is very well managed, and with a handicap of 2.5% expense ratio, it will be extremely, I mean, you really need to bring differentiated strategy in investment management consistently to get a worthwhile alpha for which you will be chasing that particular scheme. So clearly, it's just a matter of time, a year or two, that people will start looking at ETF very, very seriously. And we have also tried one of the very latest, theme, that is fundamentally enhanced index. And thanks to NSE, they allowed us to Nifty Remix. So we have launched it, M50, and it tracks Nifty well, but I think we are going to change the formula, and we are going to see that how exactly we can beat Nifty consistently. So we are going to see a lot of variety of ETFs apart from passive. We are going to see even fundamentally enhanced ETFs, probably with a commodity, gold and equity or debt all put together, an ETF, maybe hopefully at some point of time. So happy investing into ETF. I think Ashish was saying that what's my feel on the markets. So, coming back to the stock market here, it looks that people are happy listening only about ETF, but I mean, they don't want to even hear about market. It's so bad. But I think markets are, I mean, there are so many issues now. Timing the market is almost impossible. I never got it right, and nobody ever got it right. So let's not bother about where market is headed. Probably you can call up my chartist, and he will tell you more intelligent answer. So, one of the thing is about, current account deficit, which is right now on top of the mind, and it is one of the biggest thing which can move the profitability of the Indian corporates. For the first time after a long time, we are seeing something which is going to change fundamentally the earnings profile of the lot of corporates. So this 30% devaluation of rupee, I mean, since it has happened week after week, month after month, we have not realized, but rupee in last 12 months has moved from 45, maybe 12 to 18 months. It has moved from 45 to now 58, 59, and threatening to cross 60. So this is one of the biggest change which has happened in Indian, corporate world, and it will have huge impact in terms of export competitiveness of a lot of businesses, like IT or pharma or whole lot of companies. Still people are not talking about, we are not hearing that I want to set up a next, like in 2003 to 2008, we used to see in CNBC, this company is acquiring 1,000 acres of land, this company has acquired 5 million square foot, when the real estate boom was there. That kind of thing I'm not seeing about the export boom. I mean, this company is exporting 20% of the sales as a export, or they have won this market or that market. That thing is yet not started. So I think at some point of time, now, close 60 or something like that, we are going to see that export companies being completely re-rated in the marketplace. Because now, rupee is not going to go back to 45 and 50. It is going to be 55, or maybe new norm is 55, hopefully. So around that level, 55, 56, I think a lot of export-oriented companies, like whether it is all the ITs, whether all the pharma, some auto companies like Bajaj Auto, and a lot of auto component companies. And there are companies after companies which are doing very well, and their profitability will change, and hopefully at some point of time even the top line growth will increase. So we are going to see some companies from there. But I think the bigger impact will be the import substitution oriented companies, in the sense that the company, say a tile company which was suffering from imports from China or some other place. And incidentally, what is happening is Chinese currency is actually appreciating against dollar. So you have two-way movement where Chinese currency is becoming stronger and Indian currency is becoming weaker. So in this kind of situation, a lot of companies are there, we know for sure. Say Tata Steel, I'm talking about Indian part of it. So Tata Steel is importing, say, is pricing its steel based on $500 HR globally. Now, $500 HR at 45 rupees is, say 22,500, 23,000. But at 60 rupees, it's almost like 30,000 rupees. So that kind of price difference, when the cost structure is Indian, is going to happen. So all the tradable industrial products will become far more competitive in the days to come. So we are going to see some themes emerging. Maybe people have done sorting or hedging and all those kind of things. But my sense is that maybe not June quarter, but from September quarter, we'll start seeing the impact of change in the rupee in export-oriented companies, and a lot of domestic companies which will be impacted by less competition from, or less pricey competition from import substitutes. So that's going to be one big theme. And then eventually we are talking about lower inflation, and of course this CAD, current account problem, is going to impact the inflation also. But eventually we are going to see, because of slowing down the growth, lower inflation, lower interest rate, and I think we are going to see a new sigh of relief with the bureaucrats, and the market is stabilizing at current level or something like that. The next big thing is the behavior of FI. I don't have any clue whether FIs will buy or sell with the QE on or off. It's so complex, one just cannot figure out. So one has to be bottoms up, bothering about the individual company, whether it has been benefited or not. And then the election, I think that's going to be very big. I mean, this is what can change the market in next 12 months. And I don't think it is going to be 12 months for the elections to make up its mind. It will be by September, October, you'll get to see which side the whole wind is blowing, whether it is going to be UPA or whether it is going to be NDA. But one thing looks to be very clear, that the voting is going to be very decisive, in the sense that you look at Karnataka, people voted down BJP and voted up Congress. You look at Pakistan. I mean, in any election in last 5, 6, in last 2, 3 years, everywhere you are getting a one-way vote, whether it is a Congress or BJP. I don't have any view, I don't have any preferences, but so long as we get 270, 280 seats for one party, one coalition, I think we are going to see a lot of reforms. And we see changes in India only when there is a crisis, because there is no political consensus. So the consensus come only at the time of crisis. Now there is a crisis, and all kinds of changes are happening. Whether, I mean, we are worried about diesel prices going from 45 to 47, but we are not worried about rupee getting devalued by 30%. It's a crazy country, crazy political system. But that's how the democracy is all about. So I think we are going to see all kinds of reforms happening. I mean, 30 days reform, 100 days reform, I don't know. I mean, they talked about 100 days, 1,000 days. I think now you're going to see some real meaty reforms in the next 30 days. If they don't push it through, in that case, God knows where the rupee will go. So I think rupee dollar, the floating of rupee dollar is the biggest demon they have released in the marketplace. And that particular thing is going to rule every single government action. And you see, after it has crossed 56, Chidambaram, Montek, everybody is on the screen. I mean, you don't have to take appointment. They're all available in CNBC, full day, because they're really scared of where it is headed. So my sense is, you don't have to bother about it. Now Delhi is going to work for the first time after 9 years, because rupee dollar is really threatening. So I think we have, now Babus are working. Don't worry, they will be able to tackle everything. 91, 92 they have handled. They will handle 2011, 12, 13 also. So I am quite quite assured that the bureaucrats and the people out there in Delhi, they'll be able to handle at the time of crisis, you know. So, and then we have a wonderful monsoon started this year, which will have its own positive role. So, on the whole, it looks that we are in a very bad time, very depressing time. It only reminds me of 2003 because we run one of the largest broking houses here, and we know what it means to be in 2003 and 2002 and 2003. But when everything was dark, we got one of the biggest bull run of 2003 to 2008. So right now, I can tell you from my P&L balance sheet that we are in amongst one of the most depressing time as far as the broking is concerned. But does it mean yet another 2003 to 2008? Only time will tell. But I have seen three bull runs and bear runs to 92, 2000, 2003, and 2008. So I think we are, after 4-5 years of correction, one thing is for sure, there is not going to be crash. I can bet there won't be market on a 12-month basis. If it falls even in double digit, I'll be very surprised. I don't know how much is the upside. My sense is that it will surprise people how big will be the, equity. I mean, look at the equity. Total equity corpus of mutual fund is about $30 billion. And 2 months gold import is $12 billion or $15 billion. This is crazy. I mean, the size of the equity market is just reduced to nothing in India. So my sense is asset reallocation will happen. And equity has done 21% compound in last 10 years. Gold has done 16%. But the beauty is, in last 3 years, gold has done 16% and equity has done 6%. So there is a recency effect. And I'm quite sure in 1 year time, gold would see its decline as an attractive asset class, and people will surely start looking at equities as in any case, global boom in equities has already started. US has already taken the lead. It's only a matter of time that Indians start looking at that. So with that, I thank you all for coming here and wish you a very good evening. Thank you very much.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.